My mom orchestrated a family ambush to steal my apartment from my pregnant sister. She didn't know about the 17 recordings I had. Hi everyone. Today's story will blow your mind, but really quick, if you enjoy this content, hit that subscribe button. Channel's been a bit quiet lately, and your support keeps it all going. Let's jump in. Original post. I never thought I'd be writing something like this, but here I am at 2 a.m., organizing audio files and screenshots like I'm preparing for a court case. My name is Michael, I'm 30, and I'm about to weaponize my family's manipulation tactics against them. Let me give you the backstory first. I grew up in what I now recognize as a textbook narcissistic family dynamic. My mother Patricia, 54F, has always played favorites, and that favorite was never me. My younger sister Ashley, 28F, has been the golden child since birth, while I've been cast as the family ATM and problem solver since I turned 18. I worked my ass off through college, taking out loans while Ashley got her tuition paid in full because she's more delicate and needs more support. I lived in rat-infested student housing while she got a luxury apartment because it's not safe for a young woman to live anywhere else. I ate ramen for 4 years while she got a monthly allowance for necessities. But I never complained. I graduated with honors, landed a job at a tech company, and slowly climbed the ladder. 5 years ago, I finally saved enough for a down payment on a small apartment in a decent neighborhood. Nothing fancy, just a one-bedroom place that was mine. I've been paying the mortgage religiously, even through the pandemic when my company had layoffs and I had to take a pay cut. Ashley, meanwhile, got her degree in art history, funded entirely by our parents, refused to get a corporate job because it would stifle her creativity, and has been living with our parents ever since. She occasionally sells a painting for a few $100s and considers herself an entrepreneur. Our mother enables this by calling her brave for following her passion. 3 weeks ago, everything changed. Ashley announced she was pregnant. The father is some guy named Tyler she met at a gallery opening who apparently isn't ready for commitment. Our mother immediately went into crisis mode, not because her unmarried daughter was having a baby with a deadbeat, but because, where will the baby live? That's when they turned their eyes to my apartment. It started subtly. Mom called me last Tuesday, her voice dripping with fake sweetness. Michael, honey, you know your sister's situation. She needs stability now more than ever. You're doing so well at your job, surely you could afford to rent a bigger place. Mom, I'm not moving. I own this apartment. But darling, you're single. You don't need all that space. Ashley has a baby coming. The baby needs a nursery. You could just stay with us for a while, or rent a studio somewhere. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. You want me to give up my apartment that I bought and paid for? Not give up, honey. Just reassign it. Keep it in the family. You could transfer the deed to Ashley, and she could take over the payments. Ashley doesn't have a job, Mom. Well, we would help with that, of course. And once you're married and ready to start a family, we'll help you too. That's when I knew this was going to escalate. See, they've always promised future help that never materializes. When I needed help with college, we'll help you with grad school. When I needed help with grad school, we'll help you with your wedding. It's always jam tomorrow, never jam today. I ended the call politely but firmly. That was my first mistake, being polite. They took it as weakness. The next day, Ashley called. She was crying, of course. She's always crying when she wants something. Michael, how can you be so heartless? I'm going to be a single mother. Your nephew or niece needs a stable home. How can you prioritize your bachelor lifestyle over family? Ashley, I'm not giving you my apartment. You're not giving it. I'll take over the payments. It's not like you're losing money. You don't have an income. Mom and Dad will help. Then why don't Mom and Dad buy you an apartment? She hung up on me. Then came the family dinner invitation. I knew it was a trap, but I went anyway, armed with something they didn't expect, my phone recording everything. The dinner was an ambush. My father Richard, who usually stays out of Mom's schemes, was there looking uncomfortable. My Aunt Linda, my mother's sister and fellow manipulator, was there. Even my cousin Jennifer showed up, probably promised free dinner for her participation. They staged what they thought was an intervention. Mom started with tears. Michael, we're worried about you. You've become so materialistic, so cold. This isn't how we raised you. Aunt Linda chimed in, family helps family, Michael. When I was young, I gave up my car for your mother when she needed it. Note, I later found out from Jennifer that this never happened. Linda sold Mom a broken car for above market price. Then came the guilt trips. Mom pulled out photo albums, showing pictures of baby Ashley and me. Look how protective you were of her. You always said you'd take care of your little sister. I was 5, Mom. Family bonds don't have age limits, Michael. Then came the threats, delivered with smiles. You know, Michael, it would be such a shame if something happened and you needed our help someday. Family remembers who was there for them. Are you threatening to cut me off if I don't give Ashley my apartment? Of course not, honey. I'm just saying that family who helps family gets helped by family. Then Ashley played her trump card. She stood up, hand on her still flat belly, and delivered a rehearsed speech. Michael, I'm scared. I'm alone, and I'm bringing a life into this world. Every day I wake up terrified that my baby will be homeless. How can you sleep at night knowing your nephew or niece might not have a roof over their head? What kind of uncle, what kind of man, are you? That's when I pulled out my phone and played back the conversation I'd had with her 2 days earlier, the one where she laughed about how she was totally going to guilt trip the fuck out of me and how Mom's plan is genius. She'd accidentally pocket-dialed me and left a 3-minute voicemail. The room went silent. I've been recording everything, I said calmly. Every call, every text, every email. I have Ashley admitting this is all a manipulation. I have Mom threatening to disinherit me. I have it all. My mother went white. You recorded private conversations? One-party consent state, Mom. Perfectly legal. What are you going to do with those recordings? Aunt Linda asked, her voice sharp. Nothing, if you all back off. But if this continues, if I get one more guilt trip, one more manipulation attempt, one more flying monkey sent my way, I'm posting everything. Facebook, Instagram, the family WhatsApp group. Hell, I'll make a TikTok series called How My Family Tried to Steal My Home. I bet it'll go viral. My father finally spoke. You wouldn't dare. Try me. I have 17 recordings, 43 screenshots, and 6 videos. I even have the email Mom sent to her book club asking them to casually bring up how important family sacrifice is when they see me at the grocery store. My mother's book club was her pride and joy. These were the women she'd spent 20 years cultivating an image with, the image of the perfect mother with the perfect family. The thought of them hearing her real voice, her real intentions, was clearly terrifying. You're bluffing, Ashley said, but her voice wavered. I pulled up my phone and showed them a draft post I'd prepared. Is it normal for a mother to demand her 30-year-old son give his apartment to his 28-year-old unemployed sister? Asking for a friend. Audio attached. 200 of our mutual friends and family members will see this within an hour of posting, I said. Including Dad's boss, Mom's church group, and Ashley's entire art community. Want to bet how they'll react? The silence was deafening. I stood up to leave. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to stop this campaign immediately. No more calls, texts, emails, or casual encounters. Ashley will figure out her own housing situation like an adult. And if anyone asks why I'm not helping, you'll tell them I'm a wonderful brother who has already done more than enough. Are we clear? My mother, for once in her life, was speechless. She just nodded. As I walked to the door, Ashley tried one more manipulation. I guess my baby and I will just be homeless then. I turned back. Ashley, you live in a 5-bedroom house with our parents who have no mortgage. You have a college degree they paid for. You have no student loans, no debt, and parents willing to support you. You're about as far from homeless as a person can be. Stop insulting actual struggling single mothers by pretending you're one of them. I left them there, sitting in their stunned silence. Update 1, 3 days later. The aftermath has been more intense than I expected. I need to document this while it's fresh because I honestly can't believe what's happening. The morning after the dinner, I woke up to 17 missed calls. Not from my family, they were silent, but from various relatives and family friends. Word had gotten out that something major had happened, but my family hadn't controlled the narrative fast enough. The first call I returned was from my grandmother, Mom's mother. She's 78 and doesn't take anyone's bullshit. Michael, your mother called me crying at midnight. Said you threatened to destroy the family. Want to tell me what really happened? I sent her 3 of the recordings. She called back an hour later. That fucking bitch, were her first words. Grandma doesn't usually swear. I gave her everything, and this is how she treats her own son? You keep those recordings safe, Michael. And if she gives you any more trouble, you call me. The family was splitting into camps. Those who'd been victims of Mom's manipulation over the years were quietly reaching out to support me. Those who benefited from her schemes were posting vague Facebook statuses about family loyalty and this generation's selfishness. But the real drama started when Ashley made a tactical error. She posted on Instagram, "Some people forget where they came from. Money changes people. Pray for my baby and me during this difficult time. Folded hands #single mom struggle #family first #betrayed." She thought she was rallying support. What she actually did was open the floodgates. Her comment section became a battleground. Some of her friends were sympathetic, but others were asking pointed questions. Wait, don't you live with your parents? Didn't Michael pay for your car repairs last year? Girl, you told me last week you were getting your brother's apartment. What happened? That last comment was from her best friend Stephanie, who apparently didn't get the memo about keeping the plan secret. Ashley deleted the post within 2 hours, but I had already screenshotted everything, including the 37 comments where various people mentioned times I'd helped Ashley financially while she called me materialistic and cold. Then Mom tried damage control. She called me from a number I didn't recognize, her friend Carol's phone. Michael, please. Let's discuss this like adults. We did. You tried to ambush me. It didn't work. I'm your mother. Act like it. You're really going to destroy our family's reputation over an apartment? I'm not destroying anything. I'm just prepared to tell the truth. If the truth destroys your reputation, what does that say about you? She started crying. Not fake tears this time, real, ugly sobs. Michael, please. My book club, my church, Richard's job. You don't understand what this would do to us. I understand perfectly. That's why it's effective. Back off, and none of it has to happen. Linda is telling everyone you're having a mental breakdown. Then Linda can explain that to everyone when I post the recording of her coaching Ashley on how to fake cry more convincingly. You have that. I have everything, Mom. The call ended with her begging me to at least not post anything before she could manage the situation. I agreed, but only if the harassment stopped completely. Update 2, 1 week later. The Cold War continues, but there have been some interesting developments. First, my father called me. This is significant because in 30 years, I can count on one hand the number of times Dad has called me directly without Mom orchestrating it. Michael, he said, I want you to know I had no idea how far this had gone. Your mother showed me the recordings you have. I'm appalled. You were at the dinner, Dad. I was told we were just going to talk to you about helping your sister. I didn't know about the apartment transfer scheme. I thought maybe you'd help with a security deposit or something. I actually believed him. Dad has always been passive, letting Mom run the show. It's his biggest flaw, but it also means he's rarely actively malicious. Son, I've moved into the guest room. Your mother and we need to have some serious conversations about how this family operates. Holy shit. My parents have been married for 32 years, and this is the first time I've heard of them having any real conflict. I'm not asking you to forgive anything, he continued, but I wanted you to know that not everyone in this house is against you. And I'm proud of you for standing up for yourself. I should have done that years ago. Meanwhile, Ashley's situation was unraveling. Remember Tyler, the baby daddy who wasn't ready for commitment? Well, he showed up at my apartment 2 days ago. Bro, we need to talk, he said. I let him in, mostly out of curiosity. Look man, I know your family's been giving you shit about the apartment thing. Ashley told me everything. Okay. Here's the thing. I actually want to be involved with the baby. I've got a decent job, I can pay child support, I want to be a dad. But Ashley's been telling everyone I'm a deadbeat because it makes her story more sympathetic. I stared at him. Are you serious? He showed me text messages. Ashley had been telling him to stay away until she secured housing, then they could reassess his involvement. She literally wrote, once I get Michael's apartment, you can move in and we'll be a family. I didn't know about your apartment until her friend Jennifer told me. That's fucked up, man. I thought she was just waiting to find a place. I recorded our entire conversation, with his permission, and added it to my arsenal. The next day, something extraordinary happened. Ashley got a job. Not just any job, a real, full-time job at a marketing firm. One of her art school friends had referred her. It wasn't her dream job, but it paid well enough to afford a modest apartment. Mom called me, her voice neutral for once. Ashley found employment. She starts Monday. Good for her. She also found a 2-bedroom apartment near her work. Tyler is helping with the deposit. Sounds like things are working out. There was a long pause. Michael, can we ever move past this? That depends entirely on you, Mom. What would it take? A genuine apology. Not just for this apartment scheme, but for years of favoritism, manipulation, and treating me like a resource instead of a son. And therapy. Family therapy. I'll think about it. Update 3, 2 weeks later. The transformation has been surreal. It's like I'm living in an alternate universe where my family actually respects boundaries. Ashley started her job and, according to Jennifer, who's become my unofficial intelligence source, she's actually doing well. She's had to wake up at 6 a.m. every day, dress professionally, and interact with adults who won't tolerate her usual dramatic behavior. It's been a reality check. She texted me yesterday, "Michael, I wanted to say thank you. I know that sounds weird given everything, but if you hadn't stood your ground, I'd probably still be living at home at 35, waiting for someone to save me. This job is hard, but I actually feel proud of myself." For the first time ever. I didn't respond immediately. I needed to process the fact that Ashley might actually be growing up. Mom, on the other hand, was struggling. Her carefully crafted image had taken a hit. Word had somehow gotten out, I suspect Grandma, that there had been family drama, and Mom's book club friends were asking questions. She couldn't handle not controlling the narrative, so she did something unexpected. She told the truth. Not the whole truth, but enough. She admitted to her book club that she'd been putting too much pressure on me to help Ashley and that it had caused a rift. She said she was learning to respect her adult children's boundaries. One of her friends, Margaret, called me. "Michael, dear, I just wanted to say that it takes a strong person to stand up to family pressure. Your mother, well, she means well, but she's always been a bit much. Good for you." Update 4, 1 month later. We had our first family therapy session yesterday. I'd made therapy a non-negotiable condition for any relationship moving forward. To my surprise, Mom agreed. Dad insisted on joining, and even Ashley wanted to participate. The therapist, Dr. Samuel Chen, was a no-nonsense guy in his 60s who specialized in family dynamics and narcissistic behavior patterns. Mom tried to charm him for the first 10 minutes until he cut her off. "Patricia, I've read the intake forms from all 4 family members. Let's skip the performance and talk about why Michael felt the need to record conversations for his own protection." Mom deflated like a punctured balloon. The session was brutal. Truths came out that had been buried for decades. A mom admitted she'd favored Ashley because Ashley was easier to control. A dad revealed he'd been too conflict-avoidant to protect me from Mom's schemes. Ashley confessed she'd known for years that the dynamic was unfair but was afraid of losing her advantages. I finally voiced how their treatment had affected my ability to trust people and form relationships. Dr. Chen didn't pull punches. "Patricia, you've created a family system where one child was designated the hero and the other the scapegoat. This isn't love, it's manipulation." Mom cried, real tears this time. "I just wanted my children to need me. And instead, you've driven one away and stunted the other's growth," Dr. Chen responded. "We've committed to monthly sessions. It's a start." Update 5, 2 months later. I'm writing this final update for my apartment, the one I still own, still live in, and will continue to live in until I decide otherwise. The family dynamics have shifted dramatically. Ashley and Tyler are co-parenting successfully. She's kept her job, gotten promoted to junior account manager, and even started paying me back for some of the money I'd loaned her over the years. I told her it wasn't necessary, but she insisted. "I need to do this, Michael. For my own self-respect." She's having a girl, due in 3 months. They're naming her Emma. When Ashley asked if I wanted to be involved as an uncle, I said yes, but with boundaries clearly established. Mom has been seeing Dr. Chen individually in addition to our family sessions. The change isn't dramatic, but it's there. She asked me about my work the other day, genuinely asked, not as a prelude to asking for something. We talked for 30 minutes about a project I'm leading, and she didn't once try to redirect the conversation to Ashley or herself. "I'm proud of you, Michael," she said at the end. "Not for what you can do for the family, but for who you are." It was the first time she'd ever said that. Dad and I have started getting beer together every other Friday. Away from Mom's influence, he's actually pretty cool. He told me stories about his own youth, his dreams he'd given up, his regrets about being so passive. He started standing up to Mom more, not aggressively, but firmly. Their marriage is evolving, and seemingly for the better. "You know what the ironic thing is?" Dad said last Friday. "Your mom respects you more now than she ever did when you were complying with everything. She's actually a little afraid of you." "Good," I said, and meant it. Last week, We had a family dinner, the first one since the ambush. It was different. Calmer. No one asked me for money, no one guilt-tripped anyone, no one cried manipulatively. We just talked. Like a normal family. At one point, Mom brought up the apartment incident. I still can't believe you recorded everything. I can't believe I had to, I responded. Fair point, she conceded. Aunt Linda hasn't spoken to me since. That's fine. Some relationships aren't worth salvaging. The extended family has largely moved on to other drama. A few cousins have privately told me they're proud of me for standing up to the family system. Apparently, I've inspired others to set boundaries with their own difficult relatives. Jennifer sent me a text last week. You know you're a legend now, right? The cousin who brought down Patricia's reign of terror with an iPhone and a spine of steel. I wouldn't go that far, but I do feel different. Stronger. More confident. I've started dating again, something I'd struggled with before, always worried about introducing someone to my toxic family. Now, I know I can protect any future relationship from their interference. The recordings. I still have them. Every single one, backed up in 3 different places. Mom knows they exist, and that knowledge keeps her in check. It's not about the threat anymore, it's about the proof that I'm willing to defend myself. Dr. Chen calls it mutually assured destruction as a pathway to peace. I call it insurance. Final thoughts. If you're reading this and dealing with similar family manipulation, here's what I learned. 1. Document everything. Even if you never use it, having proof changes the power dynamic. 2. Boundaries aren't cruel, they're necessary. Family doesn't mean doormat. 3. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do for someone is stop enabling them. 4. Therapy works, but only if people actually want to change. 5. It's okay to use their own tactics against them if it's the only language they understand. 6. You can't choose your family, but you can choose how much access they have to your life. The apartment. Still mine. I've repainted it, bought some new furniture, and made it truly my space. Sometimes I catch myself looking around and feeling grateful, not just for the apartment, but for the spine I finally grew to defend it. Ashley sent me a photo yesterday of the nursery she's setting up in her new place. It's small but cozy. She did it all herself, painted the walls, assembled the crib, even made some of the decorations. The girl who once claimed she couldn't possibly live anywhere, but my apartment has created a beautiful space for her daughter. I'm proud of you, I texted back. Learn from the best, big brother, she replied. Turns out we're both stronger than Mom thought. Yes, we are. And that's the real victory here, not that I kept my apartment, but that we all finally learned to stand on our own feet. Even Mom, in her way, is learning to relate to her children as adults rather than possessions. The family text chain is active again, but different now. Less manipulation, more genuine sharing. Dad sends dad jokes. Ashley shares ultrasound photos. Mom sends recipes without passive-aggressive commentary. I share photos from my hiking trips. It's not perfect. There's still tension, still old wounds that haven't fully healed. Dr. Chen says it'll take years to fully rewire these patterns. But for the first time in my life, I have hope that we might actually become a functional family. And if not, well, I've still got the recordings.